Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today is the 9th of April and I'm talking now about one of my favorite Clematis, is one of my favorite climbers actually, and this is Clematis Armandi Apple Blossom. This is a Clematis that is actually very popular, is one of the most popular here in the United Kingdom as well as in many other countries. This Clematis name is the scientific name, comes from the word klema. It in old Greek, in ancient Greek, means vine shoot, and was used by Greeks to identify several kinds of climbing plants. And the specific name Armandi is in honor of Father Armand David, or Frère Armand David, a Jesuit missionary who was also a zoologist and a botanist, and is famous to have brought to France and anyway to Europe many animals and plants from China. Indeed, this plant, Clematis armandi, is mainly distributed in China, where it grows in most of the countries except the coldest or the most tropical parts, and in the northern Burma. Clematis armandi is a climber, and as you can see, like in the typical fashion of the Clematises, basically the leaves have a stem that basically twists among the on support. Is actually one of the Clematises that, in my opinion, tend to twist less in comparison to other Clematises. The foliage is always kind of loose. The leaves don't really twist as much as other Clematises, so it's always better when you grow this plant to provide kind of support and provide some basically extra ties when you are growing this Clematis on a fence, because at some point the leaves will, yes, turn, as you can see here, but they are always kind of loose. You can see the difference with these other Clematises that instead twists a lot when they trying to get to a support. So it's always better to give some extra ties when growing this plant on a fence and as a climber, especially if you grow this plant in quite windy areas, because considering that the plant is also evergreen, if there is wind, the plant really tends to move a lot, and actually in case of strong winds the stems can be damaged. So that's another reason, because really this plant should be grown ideally only in sheltered areas. This climber is already, I think, very beautiful, not only for the flowers but also for the leaves. They are very leathery and glossy. I'm trying to focus them, and they're a beautiful emerald green when fully grown. However, when they develop, you can see they have this beautiful bronzed tinge. There is a very nice contrast with the rest of the plant that is green, as well as with the pinkish white flowers. I really like the leaves of this plant as well. The leaves can grow, in my case, up to about 10-15 centimeters long, and as you can see, I love it for the very shiny, very glossy appearance, and they are very thick leaves as well. The flowers are about 5 centimeters across, and when they are in bud they are kind of pinkish, as you can see. Actually, I just move this raspberry stem so I can show you the buds. The buds have this beautiful pinkish color that opens to whitish, pale pink and white when the flowers open, and then the flowers, when they age, tend to become almost completely white. The variety in particular that I have is Clematis apple blossom, that is characterized indeed by these pinkish flowers. The flowers grow on previous year's growth. This clematis indeed requires little pruning, unless obviously it runs, your garden runs out of space, but I think it is one of the best clematises to grow. Mine, I have it on this fence, and I grew it for about 3 years, and it covered already a couple of meters in the fence. It's not a clematis that is really aggressive as other clematises can be, and I think is one of the most ornamental clematises because again it is evergreen, so it provides an all year-round interest. Most clematises grown in gardens are deciduous, so usually in winter they have just bare stems to look at. Instead, this one is a really pretty clematis all year round. This clematis, considering that indeed is evergreen, can be grown on a fence and as a screen as well to provide a bit of privacy. The plant can reach ultimately a length of about 6 meters, or a height, if you prefer, of about 6 meters or more. So this is a plant that really requires an ample space to grow. As I said, the cultivar I have, there are several cultivars of this species. I have the apple blossom, that is one of the most popular, in addition to the beautiful pinkish buds, as you can see, and white flowers. The flowers are also fragrant. Is it fragrance? This is very delicate, sweet, kind of almond-scented, and is not overly intoxicating. Is a plant that, in my opinion, one of the plants that really need to smell the flowers to get the fragrance. However, it is very enjoyable. Obviously, sensitivity to fragrances depends by different people, so some noses are more sensitive than others. However, it is often recommended to put it in a shelter place, near a doorway or near a sitting area, so you can enjoy the fragrance. Honestly, I don't smell much of a fragrance now from this plant, and I am now about 50 centimeters far from the flowers, and you can see that the blooming this year is very nice. I have lots of flowers, and still I can't smell much, so probably some of you have a nose that can smell the fragrance even 1 meter or a couple of meters away. However, this is a plant that, in my opinion, doesn't really make you the whole garden perfume, unless obviously you have a huge blooming, like a plant completely covered in flowers. But as you can see, I have several flowers already, and I can't really smell much of a fragrance. A plant that I had until last year, a clematis that really had a huge fragrance, is Clematis pixie, and that's, yes, I can smell the scent at least a meter away, sometimes a couple of meters away from the plant. So the Clematis pixie was absolutely incredible for fragrance, and unfortunately I don't know why I lost it. And last year was a huge plant. Today, at the end of last year, I had to prune the passion flower with snow queen that basically grew all over this fence, and I think I cut the Clematis pixie at the base, and this is the reason, because I don't have any Clematis pixie, not even a stem, this year. And I'm very sorry, because this was one of my favorite Clematis for fragrance. However, I will put a link at the end of the video, and as well as in the description of this video, so you can click on my video of the Clematis pixie of last year. If you want Clematis for fragrance, definitely I can recommend the pixie for fragrance. However, the fragrance of the Clematis Armandi is also very nice. It's just subtle and light, but is absolutely gorgeous. Also, the scent of this Clematis is very sweet. Clematis Pixie has a more citrusy scent, and so they are very differently scented Clematises. So really, if you like fragrances and you want a Clematis, probably would be a good choice to have both of them in your garden. The flowers of this Clematis, of the Clematis Armandi, are they bloom between late winter and early spring. Today is the 9th of April, and you can see this Clematis is in full bloom. I have just a few buds still left to open, and anyway, as I said, in addition to the beautiful flowers, the leaves, the bronze new leaves, are also very interesting. This Clematis is very low maintenance, again needs little pruning really. Is a plant that is really really a showstopper when you grow it massively. So I really would recommend to give this plant lots of space, so you can have incredibly huge blooms. Well, incredibly huge in the number of flowers. Obviously, the flowers themselves are not incredibly big, as I said. They're about 5 centimeters across. And about the exposure, this plant grows best in full sun, and about the soil, pretty much like most plants grown in gardens, the ideal soil is well drained but moist. It's actually adaptable to many kind of soils, like clay soils or sandy soils or loamy soils, but as long as the ground is not too salty, and like in coastal areas, the plant is really adaptable to many conditions. About the hardiness of this plant is hardy from USDA zones 7 to USDA zone 9, so it is hardy basically throughout the UK and the most temperate countries in the world. So, well, this is my review of my plant. Definitely a positive review. I love this plant. It has beautiful flowers, a very light and sweet, very pleasant fragrance of almond, like an almond scent, and also it has beautiful glossy green leaves, very shiny in the sun, and that are also very ornamental when they are born with this kind of bronzy appearance, and that has very nice contrast with the rest of the green foliage of the Clematis and in the garden as well. And also I like the new shoots as well. They you can see they are bronzed as well, like the leaves. So, well, this is my review for the Clematis. I hope that, well, a final note, this actually Clematis is pretty easy to find in garden centers, and online you should not have any problems in finding this beautiful plant. What I can recommend you, if you are thinking about a fragrant garden, try to go in this period to garden centers and smell the flowers of this Clematis. So you will know if you like the scent, you will know if you like the intensity of the fragrance. Some people actually don't like fragrances too intense because of the overpowering. It can be disturbed by very strong scents, but me, honestly, I love a very strong scent. However, if you prefer very light and subtle scent that is not invasive, it's just really flowers that you like to smell every now and then to appreciate their beautiful fragrance, then definitely Clematis Armandi Apple Blossom is one of the plants for you. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, it would be great if you can give a thumbs up, and if you like this video and my other videos on my channel, it would be great if you can please subscribe. It is completely free for you, but in this way YouTube gets a knowledge that you and other people like my videos, and then in turn can support me and promote the growth of my channel on the YouTube platform. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye.